Hey everyone, so in this video I want to talk about what I really like about my Velomobile, the Alpha 7.2, and then improvements that I made to the things I didn't really like about it, and that leads to this being the best Velomobile I've ever owned, and this is the fourth Velomobile I've owned. So one of the things I like the most about the Alpha 7 Velomobile is the speed I can achieve. As you can see from this video, going at or above 30 miles an hour on a flat level road when it's not freezing cold and I got the right tires is not too much of a problem. I don't know how it compares to other Velomobiles, but I can tell you, compared to my two WOWs, it's definitely much faster, and I've broken every single PR that I had with my WOWs in my Alpha 7. And this isn't racing either. This is commuting. I'm commuting to and from work in my Alpha 7. So doing 30 miles an hour with commuting gear is pretty awesome. And it's not too difficult either. So besides speed, another thing I really like about the Alpha 7 is the open wheel wells. It just makes it easy, and I personally am running the Schwalbe Marathon Green Guard 20 by 1.5 inch tires in the front, and I found them to be the fastest tires for my needs. Yes, there are other tires out there that may be faster, but I personally like these the best. And with the open wheel wells, I can run them with no issues. I did have to raise the suspension a little bit. I had to add an elastomer on each side. Besides that, there's no rubbing at all, and I have a pretty good turning radius. Okay, so moving on. Let's start at the front here. Another thing I like about the Alpha 7 is the headlight. It's nice and high, and it's a bright headlight. It's got that sharp cutoff, and so it gets the light where it needs to be on the roads and not in people's eyes. And I'm a big fan of daytime running lights, so I run this headlight day and night. So moving on, I like this nice big access hatch cover. You know, coming from the WOW, where I could easily take off the nose to access the front chain rings and the front derailleur and everything, and the pedals. It's good to have a nice big access hatch here, or access panel, and it's just velcroed in, and it's got a magnet in the back. So another thing I really like about the Alpha 7 is it's got a nice big, I think you call this toe box, where your feet go. That allows me to be able to run long cranks, and I don't like short cranks. I like longer cranks, either 165 or 170 millimeter crank arms, and these are 170 millimeter crank arms, and I have no real issues at all with rubbing. Unfortunately, there's other Velomobiles, you're kind of limited in what you can use as far as crank arms. So that's what I really like about the Alpha 7, that you're not limited in the crank arm size. You can go up as big as 175 millimeters if your feet allow it to. And then of course, with this access hatch, I like the fact that it's, you know, it's got the magnet in the back, and then it's got the Velcro on the sides. So it makes, you know, getting to this area pretty easy and simple. Okay, so moving on to inside the Velomobile. The biggest reason why I decided to go with the Alpha 7 versus like a DFXL is tank steering. The Alpha 7 is one of the few Velomobile models besides a WOW that you can get tank steering. I personally don't like tiller. I'm a huge fan of tank steering, you know, especially coming from a WOW. So that's why I decided to go with it, with the Alpha 7 for the tank steering option itself. Okay, another thing I like is I like this hood. You know, it's simple and easy. Traditional motorcycle visor, as most Velomobiles are coming with now, and with this insert that I'm using now, that's a huge game changer. Now I don't have to deal with fogging. I have yet to use this windshield wiper in the rain. I just installed it the other day. This week, We're supposed to get some rain, so I'll be able to actually test it out and see how well it works. And then I've got a little mount there for the camera. These hooks here, I like them. They're really simple and easy. They just, you know, hook to the side here to keep the hood down and everything. And while I'm here, you know, one of the things that was an issue that I've improved, as you can see, with the hinge system is I run with the hood all the time, year round, regardless, heat, cold, whatever. I always use the hood. And so before, you know, I was placing the hood, you know, right here while I would get inside the Velomobile. And unfortunately, a few times there was some wind, and the wind knocked it off, and as you can see, it got scratched up and everything. And so now with the hinge, I can just flip it up and climb in and then just close it. Another thing I changed on this, so it came with the little tiny Kellerman Atto lights, and I changed it to the Kellerman bullets. I don't think this is the best solution in the world. Yes, the turn signals are nice and bright. They're much brighter than the Attos. I think they're more noticeable. But when it's night and I run the tail light function, I mean, I always run this flashing. But at night, I also run this as a tail light, and it's just got a little tiny ring. Actually, I'll turn it on so you can see it. So yeah, it's got a tiny little ring, and I mean, I guess it's okay. It's not the best solution. I like the Attos better for the tail light function, but I like these better for the turn signal function, because as you can see, they're definitely nice and bright. I mean, it's definitely noticeable. So for now, I'm going to keep these until I can find something better. And then, as you can see, you don't hear that annoying little buzzer. I couldn't stand that, so I got rid of the buzzer, and I made this little indicator here so it can show me whenever my turn signals are on. And when I shut them off, the light goes off. Another thing that I improved here, I run with the headlight on every time I ride. And I didn't want the tail lights on all the time. I only want those little rings on during the nighttime. So I installed this switch here, so that way I can run with the headlight on like that. But then I don't have the tail lights on. But like I said, I always have my flasher on. This flasher is always running. So, but I did that just so I can save battery life. Another thing that I made improvement to, and you can't really tell from here, but so the Velomobile originally came with a 650B wheel, or also known as a 27.5 inch, or I don't remember what the other number is, 584 maybe. And like I said, I'm a commuter, and I also live in a place where it gets snow in the wintertime. And so that's actually what I'm currently running right now. I'm running this studded rear tire, and with the wheel that originally came on it, the 650B, I couldn't run any winter tire without it rubbing. I tried, and it's just rub. So I changed it to a 26-inch wheel, so now it's perfect. This panel here, it could be improved. It could be bigger, I guess. I mean, it's kind of small. I mean, you got some room in there, but you don't have much. Last year, I broke my derailleur cable, and I had to replace it. And I can tell you that was not fun. And I don't have the biggest hands either, so I guess that's one thing that could be improved on this Velomobile that I can't really do much about, but yeah, I just deal with it. But it's not the worst thing in the world. One of the biggest things that I didn't like about the Attos, yes, they are bright, but they're small. But what I didn't like about them is at night when you're running the tail light and you had the turn signal on, it kind of like flushed out, which is why I got the bullets. Now, Velomobile World did come out with something a little while ago. I'll put the link in the description. They're actually using 2 Attos now, which makes so much more sense. One for just a turn signal only, and then one for like the tail light / brake light. And then one thing actually I forgot as I'm looking at it right now, one thing I added, unfortunately the tank steering Velomobiles, they don't come with a brake light. They don't come with a brake light function. So I personally, you know, that's the original one. I personally added this brake light, and so it works as a brake light like it should, and it's separate from the others. Also, one thing that I improved that I completely forgot to mention, so this Velomobile originally came with twist grip shifting. I found that not to work at all. At least for the front derailleur, it didn't work whatsoever. It gave me major issues, so the very first thing I did was I switched it to a trigger shifter in the front, and then I left the rear twist grip on for a while. But then I found out last year that whenever my hands got really sweaty, which happens a lot when I ride in the summertime mainly, it was a pain. I couldn't shift it. So now with this setup, it works perfectly. And yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, there could be a few improvements, like things that I've improved. But I mean, honestly, besides that, it's the best Velomobile I've ever owned. I mean, it's fast, it's comfortable, it's quiet. It's definitely much quieter than the WOWs that I've owned. In general, it is definitely a quiet Velomobile. I was actually shocked how quiet it was the first time I ever rode it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, all I really hear is like the chain noise, and I hit bumps and it's not that bad. I like the elastomer suspension, front and rear. I mean, honestly, it's a great Velomobile, and I've had no issues really with it whatsoever. I mean, it's I put just shy of 10,000 miles on it, and I've owned it for 2 years. So Velomobile World, thank you for putting out this Alpha 7.2 Velomobile. I think you guys done a great job with it. So that is my thoughts about this Velomobile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day.